Anger over apparent racial disparities in the justice system triggered rioting in Berkley, California. Business owners there cleaned up today after a night of vandalism and looting. Authorities arrested 5 people in connection with Sunday night's demonstrations. Confrontations resulted in injuries to at least 2 officers, and protesters reportedly attacked another demonstrator with a hammer. Protests began peacefully but became disorderly and spilled into neighboring Oakland. This type of violence has been rare as demonstrators around the nation take to the streets again tonight to express their outrage. With us now is one of the lead protesters here in New York City, Carl Dix. Carl is co-founder of the Stop Mass Incarceration Network and is now organizing a movement this week called the Week of Outrage to stop police, what he calls murder. Welcome to New York, or welcome to our New York studio, Carl. It's good to meet you.
Thank you for having me on.
So you're organizing this effort called the Week of Outrage. What do you hope this week will look like, and what do you hope will come from it?
Okay, what the week is going to look like is a week of varied forms of activity that bring different kinds of people into motion. Because look, what's happened so far in the streets from Ferguson all across the country has been what's needed, but it has to continue, and it has to get further organized, and it has to spread into different sections of society. So part of what's going to be going on this week, and it has already begun, is clergy stepping in. Next weekend, from Friday through Sunday, in mosques, synagogues, and churches, there are going to be sermons on the question of police murder and the whole new Jim Crow of mass incarceration. And the clergy were down at City Hall today, and in fact did a die-in down at City Hall today. So it's already begun. There's going to be a day of civil disobedience Wednesday, starting in the afternoon at Herald Square. Thursday is going to be a day of student activity. There are going to be artistic expressions beginning on Tuesday, culminating on Saturday. And then on Friday, we're going to go into the neighborhoods, Harlem, South Bronx, Jackson Heights, Queens, Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, the neighborhoods where this abuse is concentrated, stand with the people there, but also take it to the police precincts and do speak outs there. So throughout the city, there are going to be people saying no more to police murder, and we're going to be giving this the kind of organization that can keep it going on.
Are you getting an idea that up to now there have been very organized and peaceful protests right here in New York City, which has been very impressive, where protesters have done die-ins, they have blocked traffic into the Lincoln Tunnel and the Brooklyn Bridge and along the West Side Highway, and that gets a lot of immediate attention. Are you getting the impression, though, that it's getting the attention of the decision makers and the influence holders in this city across the country to actually bring about change?
Okay, we're clear it's getting their attention because, look, you have Obama.
In a way that will bring about change, though, Carl.
Well, let me get to that.
Okay.
We have Obama having meetings at the White House talking about this. You have the mayor and the police chief talking about how they're going to do this. We're going to retrain. We're going to put cameras on police officers. But that doesn't get to the heart of the problem because we had a camera in the Eric Garner case. The video was right there. We all saw the life choked out of him by the police. We heard his cries that he couldn't breathe, and still nothing was done. So what we're saying is that if the routine in America is going to include wanton police murder of black people, of Latino people, then that routine needs to be disrupted. And we're going to continue working on this. And that's why we want to give it organization, because we don't want to see it that people are pulled back to their daily lives with this continuing to go on.
Are you heartened or unimpressed with the guidelines that Eric Holder has announced from the DOJ in forbidding federal agencies from using profiling on a number of levels?
Not heartened at all. Look, we're going to hear various noises from the authorities, but these authorities have been presiding over the problem. Eric Holder's been the Attorney General for 6 years. Before that, he had a position within the DOJ where he was responsible for policing the police in Washington, D.C. He never brought a single cop up on charges, although police in D.C. killed a number of unarmed, innocent people. So these expressions are them on the defensive, trying to see if they can quiet us. We say this has to stop. I mean, just in the short period of time from the grand jury decision in Ferguson, we have seen Tamir Rice, 12-year-old, gunned down for playing with a toy gun in an open carry state where people can legally carry real guns. A 12-year-old black child can't play with a toy gun. This has to stop.
Carl, all too often when this conversation comes up, many of those who don't see a need for change, that don't think there is a problem with the system, says that the arrests and the stops are not disproportionately high in black communities. It's because the crime rate is high in black and Latino communities. And they also say that there's a bigger problem of black on black violence than there is on law enforcement on black violence. What's your response quickly to
Okay,
that?
very quickly. Black people have been criminalized, not that there are more black criminals. Look at the pot arrests, marijuana arrests. People in New York City use marijuana all across racial lines, but 90% of the people arrested for possession of marijuana are either black or Latino. That is because those people have been criminalized. They get treated in a disproportionate way by law enforcement, so they end up going to jail for what is actually not a crime, because a small amount of marijuana on your person is not a crime, but they still get arrested for it. That happens across the board. This system has criminalized black and Latino people, and it's because they have no future for them. The revolution has a future, and that's what I'm working on, and the Stop Mass Incarceration Network is working on it as well, and people should go to our website, check out the plans for the week, and get involved.
All right. Well, I know you're very busy, so I thank you for taking some time to come talk to us.
Thank you for having me on, Debbie.